So we've done Dragon Ball, we've done One Piece, so we're obviously gonna do Naruto next. Naruto has a lot of games, but unlike the previous anime that we covered, most of these games actually fit into categories. There are some categories in the others, but this one, most of the games are just series. So we're applying some rules to this video, which is only one game per series, otherwise this list is kinda boring. But here we are, with the top 10 best Naruto games of all time. At number 10, Naruto Ninja Council 3, from the Ninja Council series. This is from the Ninja Council series, which started kinda lame. In the first Ninja Council, you had to beat the same level twice, with the only difference being a boss fight at the end. In my opinion, Ninja Council 3 did it the best. It was a transition from Game Boy Advance to the Nintendo DS, so visually the game evolved a lot. Thanks to the touchscreen of the Nintendo DS, you now have a selection of jutsu for each character, something you didn't previously because the Game Boy Advance has not a lot of buttons. You also have a decent roster from the beginning of the game, and the levels are small and short, but it's a decent 2D brawler that is tailored for Naruto fans. And number 9, Ninja Destiny 2, from the Ninja Destiny series. This series is an adaptation of the Clash of Ninja series, which is one of the most popular series of Naruto history, but it's too soon to talk about that. We'll talk about it further down the list. But we're talking about a 2D fighting game, sort of a traditional style of fighting games. The roster is very decent, 34 playable characters for a handheld console. It has a story mode, although it's like 4 hours long, more or less. And in comparison to the first Ninja Destiny, the combat was a lot more polished. The first one was a bit clunky. As far as traditional fighting games go, this is your go-to option for handhelds. Moving on to number 8, Naruto Path of the Ninja, from the Path of the Ninja series. This is your classic RPG for Naruto. As a classic RPG, you know, it's typical of an RPG to have a hub world and a turn-based battle system. This turn-based battle system has a lot of options and it has a lot of depth. There are different characters that you can pair up into a team, and you can align them differently for different bonuses. The story takes you from the beginning of Naruto all the way through the Chunin exam arc. They never tried to make another traditional Naruto RPG, so this is actually your only option if you're into that genre. And if you like this game a lot, you can also play Path of the Ninja 2, although that one has a plot that is filler, and we all know how we feel about Naruto fillers. And number 7, Naruto Powerful Shippuden. This is the only game on this list that doesn't belong to any series. It came out on 3DS back in 2012, and it has a chibi style that gives this game a lot of charm. You might recognize this chibi style from the Naruto spin-off series, Rock Lee's Springtime of Youth, something else. The title is bigger, but I don't care. It's a 2D brawler with many boss fights. The story mode goes all the way up to the 5 Kage Summit arc, and you can enter this story mode as either Naruto or Rock Lee. This is probably the best game on a DS platform, so if you have a DS, get Powerful Shippuden. And number 6, Naruto Kizuna Drive, from the Uzumaki Chronicles series. Now, the Uzumaki Chronicles series is loved by many, and Kizuna Drive is where it shined the brightest. The first games, I didn't like them so much, I'll be honest. They had some repetitive missions, the story was filler for the most part, which was uninteresting, and the combat was kind of repetitive. And even though Kizuna Drive's story is also filler, the gameplay was polished into something a lot more pleasant. The mission design is a lot more varied, which makes the straightforward gameplay a lot less boring. It's still kind of straightforward, but because you're doing different things, it doesn't feel as monotonous. You can play local multiplayer if you've got friends with a PSP in the same room, and you know, it's not an extraordinary game, but it does have some memorable missions. And number 5, Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Impact, from the Ultimate Ninja Heroes series. If you've ever played the One Piece Pirate Warriors games, you can kinda compare them to Ultimate Ninja Impact. It introduced a new combat system to the Ultimate Ninja Heroes series. The Ultimate Ninja Heroes series up to this point was a 2D fighting game. It was sort of a handheld adaptation of the Ultimate Ninja series, which we'll talk about further down this list. And Ultimate Ninja Impact changed that drastically. It changed the combat style from the 2D fighting game to something similar to Dynasty Warriors. You defeat a ton of enemies, you have some boss fights, and the plot actually follows the original story. It starts on the Kazekage rescue mission and goes all the way up to the 5 Kage Summit. This game plays really well, so if you enjoy this style, definitely get this one. And number 4, Naruto the Broken Bond, from the Ubisoft series. Ubisoft once made 2 Naruto games, Rise of Ninja and Broken Bond. Both games cover the original anime story in the third-person action-adventure style, something completely different from what everyone else was making. The first one had some awful 3D platforming sections, combat was a bit shallow, even if it was visually pleasing and fast. But that's exactly the stuff they fixed with Broken Bond. Instead of just playing as Naruto, you play as multiple characters, so you had more depth in combat, you weren't always doing the same thing. You had more complex puzzles to solve during the adventure sections, which required coordination of different characters' jutsu. And the battle system just became a lot more fluid. You could also fight opponents online, and it probably had the best soundtrack of all the Naruto games. It still holds up to this day, if you want to play it. And number 3, Naruto Shippuden Clash of Ninja Revolution 3. People still play this game actively in the competitive fighting scene, so it survived the test of time. It deserves a spotlight on this list. This is from the Clash of Ninja series, which was the most popular Naruto series for a very long time, before Ultimate Ninja came along. It had its ups and downs, and Clash of Ninja Revolution 3 is where everything just clicked. It had a good story mode, although it was a tough story mode. Some would say it was unfair at times. A roster of 40 characters, which was impressive for the time. It had online play, it had 1v1 and 2v2 battles with the ability to call in for partner assists. It also had a free-for-all 4-player battle system. Combat was polished, it was revamped, it was way more balanced. It is still a good fighting game to this day if you want to play it. And number 2, Naruto Ultimate Ninja 3. The Ultimate Ninja series was the big thing after Clash of Ninja came out. It's still a fighting game, but it's less traditional. By taking better advantage of what makes the Naruto characters unique, they made the arenas bigger and gave you a massive boost of mobility. You could jump around walls, you could dash, you could do a lot of things that you typically can't in a traditional fighting game. And that made something unique. The Ultimate Ninja series kept improving up to Ultimate Ninja 3. They still made Ultimate Ninja 4 and 5, but those games kinda stopped progressing. They just had some minor additions. Ultimate Ninja 3 had a roster of 42 characters. You could customize each character with different jutsu and different ultimate attacks. Some ultimate attacks actually triggered the transformation in some characters, so it introduced transformations in Naruto games. It also introduced jutsu clashes, something fans have been asking for a return for a while now. And on story mode, it was the first one to use CGI cutscenes. It was really groundbreaking at the time. I often wonder if this should be my number 1 Naruto game. But for now, our number 1 Naruto game is Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 from the Ultimate Ninja Storm series. I'm betting everyone watching this video knows the Ultimate Ninja Storm series. The game switched from a 2D fighting plane to a 3D fighting plane, bringing some significant changes to the game. The series has evolved over time, but now we're in a generation when no one is ever happy and everyone complains about different stuff, so it's hard to say which one everyone agrees is the best. But in my opinion, they had some good changes and some bad changes over time. Storm 4 is where they made all the right decisions. They evolved where they needed to, and went back to old systems where the new ones weren't working. The leader change system is awesome. It allows you to switch between 3 characters during battle seamlessly, during combos even. Something I've never seen any 3D fighting game do. It has the best visuals by far. I mean, even the next Naruto, Shinobi Striker, it doesn't look as appealing as this one. That's how good the visuals are on this game. It has the biggest roster a Naruto game has ever had. Heck, it's one of the biggest fighting game rosters of all time probably. And it came out only last year, so who knows how time will treat this game, but if you want to play a Naruto game right now, play Storm 4. And those are the 10 best Naruto games of all time. Now I throw the conversation over to you guys. I would love to know what's your favorite... I was hoping to get through that without choking. What's your favorite Naruto game that you have played in the past? I would love to know your thoughts, your childhood memories. I'd love to know all that, so head down to the comments and let me know. Like the video if you like anime as much as I do, and watch this video for the Shinobi Striker roster. You know, the new Naruto game, Shinobi Striker. I go into the roster and try to figure out who's gonna be in the next game. Or if you're in the mood for something else, click this video right here. My name's Globku. Thank you very much for watching. Bye!